Alright lads, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 4 vehicles coming in the expected War Thunder crafting event. The crafting events are always a lot of a grind, to be honest. They usually break my will to live, to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. But it is War Thunder, so what is more pain on top of eternal suffering anyway. Anyway, our first vehicle and the only premium I believe is the AMD 35 SA35. We already have the AMD 35 in game, but I believe it is armed with like a 25mm cannon or something. It's very underpowered in the actual French tech tree at the minute. But this thing, I believe it's armed with a 47mm cannon. So as it says here, it is going to give you a trade in actual punch, but you're going to lose some of that rate of fire. I think this is a good change though, because the AMD in the tech tree at the minute isn't really that good, so having a better gun is going to be a big bump up in firepower and just overall performance. It is a rank 1 premium though, so basically useless for all intents and purposes. Play 4 matches in this tank and you'll unlock rank 2 and then you'll never play it again really. I've grinded out pretty much all the French tech tree. Probably going to play this a couple of times then forget it even exists, to be honest. It's a little bit shitty, to be honest, how they just kind of every event and every battle pass season, the rewards just get worse and worse, to be honest. I'm being a little bit picky. This is the lowest reward. I'm guessing that's what it's going to be. But a rank 1 vehicle, like, come on, at least make it rank 2 or something. For the second and our event vehicle for the naval reward, it is the Shabirkov, however you pronounce it. This is basically a successor of the, what's it called? The Sverdlov. The Sverdlov used to be very overpowered in War Thunder Naval. It had rapid firing 6-inch guns and it had incredible anti-aircraft guns as well. It's still pretty good, to be honest, but the light cruiser meta is well, apart from like the Helena, 5.7 is quite good, so depending on what battle rating this ship comes in, it might be good. 6.0 cruisers get up tiered quite a lot though. That's why stuff like the 5.7 premiums are so powerful at the minute. Anyway, it's the 45mm ZIF-68s. These are these things, I believe. And our main guns are 152mm or 6-inch. Basically, it's not really going to do that much damage to battleships, if at all. But because you have 12 6-inch guns which fire pretty rapidly, you can kill heavy cruisers surprisingly quickly. The amount of fire you put down range is more important than gun caliber at the minute in War Thunder. That's why you can see destroyers killing battleships with high explosive spam. Anyway, not really looking forward to this as a naval play myself. It's nothing really new or unique. The Sverdlov's already in the game. You already have the other event. You got quite a few event Russian vehicles actually. They're Gorky as well. It's quite an old one. Anyway, rank 5 event. You'll be able to grind out quite a lot of ships with this if you put a talisman on it. That's your really redeeming factor. It's a successor of the Sverdlov, so it's good to have all the good qualities of the Sverdlov. It's a good ship to get if you play in the Soviet Blue Water tree, but most people don't really play naval, so kind of going to be lost on them. So for the main tank prize, we have quite a rarity. Instead of going for another T-72 or another Leopard 1 variant, we've actually got the QN506. A tank that I'm sure you're all familiar with. I am, of course, being, I'm joking, basically. I've never even seen this before. I thought that this was quite an old design, but apparently, after the Chinese saw the BMPT Terminator, they thought, we'll do what we do with all Western stuff and we'll just try to copy it. And they created this thing. I think it's based on the chassis of a T-54. I might be wrong. It does look similar. Maybe a T-6. I think it is a T-54, actually. Anyway though, if we can take a look here, well, can't take you can see here that this is like the driver's part. So I'm guessing this is going to be a very easy penetration. I don't know what, unless that's just like a periscope up here. The T-54 and T-62 frontal armor scheme is quite thick, but I don't think it's going to be, I'm guessing this is going to be, my dog just barks. You can count that as a cameo in the video. Basically, the upper frontal plate here is usually quite thick, but it's not really going to do much at a higher battle rating. I'm guessing this is going to be at least 9.3 after the BMP-2M. It's kind of the same type of weaponry, I'm guessing. This does have a gimmick, which has fire and forget missiles. People have been working up a little bit of a... People are a little bit upset. They think this is going to be overpowered. While it is kind of overpowered with the PARS missiles on the Tiger UHT, that thing flies very high and shoots down. Fire and forget missiles on tanks aren't really that big of an issue in my opinion, because the sight lines are a lot smaller, and quite a lot of times people are going to see your missiles come in and try to maneuver. I'm guessing these fire and forget missiles are going to have quite a lot of lag time, so they're probably going to be quite easy to dodge. And you can always just run in behind cover or pop smoke. I think these will be a gimmick really. I think having constant control is probably the better way to go, because if the person that you're shooting at goes into cover, you can always try and redirect the missile. On wider open maps or at targets long range, this might be quite a good feature, because it's quite hard to guard an ATGM at very long range if the opponent is moving quickly. Anyway, we do also have a 30mm autocannon. It does only have 200 rounds of ammunition though, which is quite limiting. But it really depends on what type of ammunition we get access to. If it's the same sort of gun as the BMP2, then it's probably going to be very, very potent, to be honest. One thing I will mention though is that the tank does seem to have a very high profile. It's got this, I'm guessing it's like a thermal imager sight in the top. But it's not going to be that sneaky, to be honest. However, the QN506 missiles. So the thing we see here, I'm guessing these four are the fire and forget missiles. I'm not really too sure what these are. It just says they are located in 4 launchers with additional missiles on the sides of the hull. Multi-purpose missiles. I'm guessing these things are kind of going to act more like rockets. Not the... It's going to be like the LAVAD, sorry. It's just going to be like Hydra missiles coming out. I don't think they're going to be that potent. But anyway, this is quite a unique vehicle. It's probably the one I'm most looking forward to. Purely because a lot of the other vehicles are kind of generic, whereas this thing seems quite original and should be some good fun, if not a little gimmicky. Alright lads, and for the main prize I imagine most people are going to go for, it is the A7K Corsair 2. I'll be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with this plane or the variant, but it is a twin seat model, so I'm guessing the rear guy commands the weapon stations. This plane, as you can see, it's got a max payload of £12,000, quite good to be honest. It has a variety of weapons, but it is subsonic, you probably already know all that. Anyway, this is the event vehicle, so it will be coming stock. It is not a premium. It's rank 7, which is quite good. If you put a talisman on it, you will be able to grind out rank 6 to 8, sorry. So again, if you can get this for free, and if you're at like rank 6 in the American Tech Tree, this could be a good grinder if you're trying to grind out the American Tech Tree. Anyway though, so it is a strike aircraft, so we obviously have quite a lot of air-to-ground weapons. You can see from this image, maybe get a better image where I found it. You can see that we do have AIM-9Ls. We also have GBU-8s. These are, I think, the TV guided 2,000-pound bombs, as well as AGM-65 Mavericks. I believe these are the AGM-65Bs. So not the thermal equipped ones, but you do get a thermal targeting pod, Lana targeting pod here. I'm not too sure if you'll be able to, I don't think the AGM-65Bs will be able to track even if you do acquire a lock with the thermal. So you're not going to be able to use the AGM-65s at night time or in bad weather, even if you do have a thermal pod. It's a little bit of a letdown. I would have liked to see the AGM-65Ds on there, but then maybe that would have made the plane a bit too powerful. You also get the AIM-9J and the Ls, although you won't really need to use the Js at all as soon as you unlock the Ls. So this plane is going to get clowned on basically by any other fighter in the area, but it does have a very good air-to-ground loadout. You are going to be dependent on your teammates to keep you alive, which is that's a rarity now in War Thunder. So anyway, as I've been saying, and as if you've read the article, it's going to be very, very good for ground pounding. It's not going to be the best choice in ground realistic battles. America's got quite a lot of strike aircraft and air-to-ground planes really. Although I guess if you don't have those unlocked and you're new to the American tech tree, then having this plane will be a good backup. It's kind of like the P-47s of top tier, these planes. They're not that fast, they don't really turn that well, but they carry a huge amount of bomb loads. And of course you do have that internally mounted 20mm cannon, which is always fun to use. Alright lads, so that was the 4 vehicles that are coming in this crafting event. The tank is the one I'm most looking forward to, but that is purely just because it's a little bit unique. I will say, don't really burn yourself out playing War Thunder for this crafting event. None of the vehicles are that amazing. You only get a rank 1 premium. The event vehicles are nice, but they're largely not going to help you grind War Thunder or really have fun. As always, this was just a quick look. We don't know their battle ratings. That is really the main factor on determining how good these tanks and planes are going to be. So anyway lads, I hope you enjoyed this format. Try and do a little bit more. I'm very busy with my house at the minute, trying to I'm basically just extending the backyard. But anyway, thank you very much for watching lads, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.